Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are doing stories 10 and 11 in my December daily. If you've been following along, you know that we are working with a full page layout, which is in the back of my ornament story. So I have another full page photo, and we're using this little insert, okay, to go with it. And I do like the way Allie Edwards had used one of these pockets, because this is good journaling too, what I want to remember, but they just used like two of these little like library cards in there. They had it flip out and hold more. I just need one. So I already kind of did the journaling because I had it printed on stickle paper from the last few ones that I knew I was going to tell the story. So the journaling is done. I like the number set from the previous year, so we're going to heat emboss 10 on here. And then I love this card, and instead of having done a pocket card or, pocket page, I wanted to use this. So we're going to cut these letters out. I feel will be good here. So that will be 10, what we're going to be doing. And then for 11, it's going to be the back side of this, which will hold my journaling. And then we're going to use my pre-made one. And these numbers are from Dollar Tree. I picked them up in the craft section. So they have red, they had black, they had blue, and they had white. And so for the white number ones, I just cut off the base because they had them originally looking like this, and they were too cramped in the space for that. So I just cut off the side parts and made the 11. And so for this one, I think I'm going to tell a new story here all about my my obsession, or my new, well, I guess it is obsession with like holiday earrings. I have quite a collection, so I'm going to take some 2x2 photos and then have them underneath here of all of the different varieties that I have for my Christmas earrings. And I think, I am going to have the journaling on this side just so that it's kind of real easy and simple, because it's a pre-made one as well. But then I'm going into the thing already about like, so do I put story 12 simply on the back of here, which I could, and just maybe have no photo for this one, because in my head, I'm thinking I want to have my shaker page sit behind this one, because that looks really fun, in order not to block the fact that I put it on clear, just have it behind this one. So if this is 11, this technically can be 12 and could fit more 2x2s. It technically can, so that could be 12, and then we'll flip it over to 13. Oh, but that's why I was already feeling like the pull of it, because I too wanted to use this for number 12 and do the 12 things we're thankful for, because it's 12 clearly. But don't get me wrong, like I'm okay with probably like if I leave this as 12, do something 12. And then, oh, that was what it was. Cause then I made this pocket off, on my own, just a pocket, a folder, so I can hold things inside. So if that's 12, my point was I liked the striped paper behind it. So as this all layered up in my album, I was like, that kind of looks really nice. The layers, or else it would have this one, which would probably get a photo on front, and then it would be a photo. So I was like, oh, like maybe I won't make that. We'll just, push the number. So 11 we can have, 12 will be a 1 page. This will be 13 in essence, 14, and then maybe this could be 15, even though it's only going to be 12 spots, but you'll just put the number over here and carry on with the levels of things, So that's where I'm kind of at right now, as far as like trying to utilize like elements from the kit that I already know I want to use. Like I said, I just like this layered on here, and I just want to keep that kind of and make sure I use it, because, if I don't use this, I'm just thinking like it's just going to be a resting spot between something else anyway. And my problem was too, is that I didn't really like, put a number on it anywhere. I mean, maybe I could over here. So it's just a resting spot is my thought. So these will be here, but we're going to do 10 and 11 with this as the demarcation, which kind of makes it feel like I have like two single-sided layouts rather than two doubles. We're just kind of using a page cutout. you know. And what I like about this one too, well, yeah, I just did my colorful tree and not my downstairs tree. I have 2 trees in my life. So let's get started. Let's heat emboss this. Let's cut out those letters. Let's decorate the tag and then figure out what we're doing back here and put some photos down. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so first let's cut down this 4x6 journaling card, or title card really, and I just make them into strips, and then I will cut off the excess on the left and the right side as well. That way it's just close to the text, and I can kind of juxtapose it all to the left hand side of my photograph. And I thought about doing it up top right there, and I did like it, but then I was like, oh, down below, but then there's so much negative space up top, so I was definitely torn. And while I couldn't make my decision in this moment, I left it there, and then we will work on heat embossing the numbers, because right there I was just like, no, I kind of like it on the bottom. No, I don't know. I can't commit. Let's just move on to something else. So I am using the number stamp set that coordinates with the alpha stamp set that was in the shop. This collection, or this set, was the one released, I want to say almost like 2 years ago now, 3 years ago. It's still a classic. It's like the perfect size. And I recently bought the number set this year because I didn't have it in my stash, and I was just like, you know what, let's just have a matching set. So I bought it. So heat embossing it, I need to get one of those little like static reducing little pouches, you know, before you stamp, because every single time I stamp, the heat embossing powder gets caught all over the page all the time. And I know that there is something to decrease that static. I just don't have it in my possession. Because I feel like it would definitely be useful, because I'm always going in with like a dry paintbrush just to kind of get off the last of the flakes. Because if you have them scattered, if you melt them, then they become scattered melted pieces on your project as well. So I take the time, and I think I do stamp it twice for each number just to get a solid gold expression on there, which definitely helps it be nice, bold, and striking, and just in essence like solid is mostly what I was going for. And on the outside of the pocket worked out perfectly for this portion of like where I wanted the number to be. So once I was done with that, let's go ahead and start trimming down my photo to be outside the page protector. So that is usually around 7 by 8 1/4. And I already had the photo for the other side going, so I knew, you know, just to kind of cut them that way twice. So I liked the way it was, and I was finally content with having it on the bottom, but I still thought that something else needed to be along the top. And so I will get out the gold Astro Paste from Ranger. It's the Simon Hurley line, and I got the gold glittery one. Remember, I hold it, and the red, and I do also believe the green as well. But the gold is what I go for now, and I get it through a polka dot stencil from Tim Holtz as well. And oh no, I got it. Sorry, I take that back. It's this Vicky Bouton stencil. It has like the snowflakes into confetti, and I just use it for the confetti portion. I didn't want the snowflakes, so it's just gold, you know, dots down the thing. So this does take time to dry, and I made sure just not to get it on the side of the tree. It's just on the sides of it, so it just kind of looks like, you know, ornaments, just sparkly stuff. It looked good, and it does dry really, really well, so do know that it takes well on photo paper. So then we're going on to the other side. Oh, there I was showing you how it dried. So the opposite side, I'm going to use this pattern paper. It is from Ali Edwards. I do not believe it's this year's release, though. It is from last year, I believe, because I can't remember if it's like a red with a tiny star pattern on it, and it worked perfectly to hold it that way. Also, the journaling will go on here just as a journal sticker, and that way it does show without having a pattern paper being too busy. Well, at least that's what I told myself. So I definitely adhere it down, and then I cut it very slowly in order to get the starburst avenues for both sides of it to be nice. And I do, yep, so I do get my X-Acto knife, and I get my ruler to do the slices so that it was nice and smooth, and not with the scissors, because I think when I was getting into the joints it was making like an overcut, and I didn't like the way it looked when the paper was removed. It kind of like frayed it. That's just details. That's just me being picky. So then I thought I was going to take some selfies with me and all of my holiday earrings, but I was definitely going into it just doing it on white cardstock. I thought they popped way better, so I did like a 6 photo collage on a 4x6, So it's just on white cardstock. I edit them in Lightroom on the app, and that way they kind of just stand out a little bit more. Plus the white's good behind the ornaments because you're not making the picture behind it being too busy. And some of them do have more than one set, and that was okay with me as well, just so I can get the 9 photos across it. And that was easy to put down. And then I was thinking, like, the same time, like, I should have story 12 just be a one-sided one. And so I just thought of, like, the movies that were on repeat. Some of them are obviously holiday, but the other ones are not. They're just the ones that she's actively watching right now, which include Mary Poppins, believe it or not, and we also have the Descendant movies. She's in her Descendant era. And so, like I said, didn't need much journaling. I take a Sharpie at first and I write out movies on repeat. But I didn't like my handwriting, so when I'm doing my outro, I did kind of punch out the journaling on white cardstock in the 2-inch circle, and it made it look much cleaner and smoother for my enjoyment. That's all. It's not too bad to have your own handwriting in it, but like I said, I think the Sharpie was half also drying out, so I had to go over the lines a little bit, and I think that's what killed me. When I was looking at it, I should have had, like, well, I didn't know it wasn't a fresh, like, juicy Sharpie to write in, or else I wouldn't have done this step. Okay, that will wrap up stories 10, 11, and 12. So on this side, that astro paste through the stencil worked out so well. And then in the tag, we have, of course, the journaling done on clear sticker paper. And I added one more photo of what my kitchen looks like because I made mention of it, that it was an added decor element to my house where I made all my cabinets look like little gifts with red bows and red ribbon. Super fun. So talking all about house decorations. Then on the opposite side, I did a page all about my holiday earring collection. So all of this is done on clear sticker paper. It still needs to be a little varnished into it. You can see the outline. But overall, super fun. And all of the photos I just did on white cardstock. That way they just kind of showcase. I thought about doing little selfies for each of the sets, but I think just showing off the element that it is. And so, don't get me wrong, like I have like 2 sets of different candy canes. I have about 3 collections of Santas. I do have like, is it this one? Yeah, these 2 are gingerbread and then a bow. And I do have 2 sets of lights and then 2 sets of trees. All of them are a little bit different, which is why it's fun to collect. So I thought this was a fun story. I haven't told the story in previous years, so that one's now in my album as well. And then for for story 12, the movies that are on repeat. You saw me do it hand lettering with the Sharpie, and it does work. I just didn't like my handwriting, so once I had printing out my journaling, I just made journaling fit right on there. So it just says movies on repeat. It needed very little, obviously, to say, but these are the ones that she always winds down to. And so we have my shaker pocket going in there afterwards because I like the way they are layered. And then we will continue on with most likely being the pocket I made, this one for story 13, just because all of that layered nicely together. I like the way all that looks. So I will continue on making my pages, so stay tuned for my next video featuring stories probably 13 and 14, obviously. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Give this video a thumbs up, and until next time, everyone, bye!